UC just announced the hiring of Jerry Calhoun as a new basketball coach. What have you heard about him, and what are you looking forward to seeing him?
Just read up on him like probably a lot of people that I didn't know that went to school here, and started his career, I guess, basically coming out of Cincinnati. And then what I appreciate is worked his way up. A guy who started as a student coach type thing, manager, and then worked his way up. And you coached in Youngstown, and then at Utah State now, and then obviously have an opportunity like this to come to an awesome place. So excited for him and his family. He obviously knows about this place and the history to be able to come back here and coach. So looking forward to meeting him and welcoming home.
Who helped themselves today?
Oh man, I think Cyrus Allen, to me, was probably the one guy that we were all, because to me he got snubbed, not being able to go to the combine. I mean, he certainly should have been in the combine. He led the Big 12 in touchdowns, and you don't get to go. So that was a big day for him today, and I think he ran in the 4.4s, which was huge. He hit up to 186 pounds. Thought he tested really well. I thought his on-the-field work was outstanding, route running and catching the football. So I think him probably more than anybody, he was the one that everybody was kind of anticipating to see how well he could run, because his production showed on the field. So I was excited for him.
Is it rewarding for you to stand out here and get to see some of these guys that you've coached be able to try to take the next step in their career?
Oh, absolutely. Guys, like Jay Golday, who's a guy who came here from Central Arkansas, unknown guy, nobody knew about him, and now, he probably worked himself into a second-round draft pick. I mean, a guy that developed and continued to get better and better. But I think more than anything, what I appreciate about a lot of our guys are the character that they have and the way they approach every single day, how hard they work. A guy like Jake to continue to develop like that, and then a guy like Cyrus Allen, even though he's here 1 year, or Jeff Caldwell, who came in at 191 pounds and played at 214 pounds last fall. The guys, the development's what I appreciate more than anything, and how they carry themselves and what kind of character they have.
On a day like this, are you doing any coaching or instructing, or are you more or less a cheerleader?
No, I just cheering, man. Just pulling for the guys, wishing them the best. This is their day. I mean, it's their day to come out here, and they got a lot on the line. There's a lot of anxiety and build up, and they want to do so well. And so I'm just like, listen, relax. You got it. You're training. You're ready to go. So more just being a cheerleader and pumping them up, and then watching them excel, I think, which is awesome. They had a great day.
You mentioned Jake Golday. You guys in this staff were one of the first to believe in him out of the transfer portal. To see him kind of develop and flourish, talk about that moment as a coach to see where he is now, hearing those conversations of the NFL draft and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like it was yesterday. We're having dinner on his visit, and his family's there, and we're just trying to convince him to come here. We got a great plan for him, and and now to see where he's at today, where all these scouts. I mean, you talk to a scout, that's the first name that a lot of them bring up is Jake Golday, and his versatility with his size and speed to be able to play a lot of positions. It's very rewarding as a coach to see something that we saw in these guys early on. Maybe somebody else didn't see as much, and then to see where they are and how far they've come and how they continue to develop. Pat Gird's another guy. I mean, Pat Gird was a walk-on guy at Ohio State. Now, I mean, he had an excellent day today. With his size and his speed, his tenacity, loves football, loves to practice. I mean, a guy like that, from Columbus, I think he's going to have an opportunity. He'll be in a camp, and he'll go out and maybe he makes it, maybe he doesn't. But I think he's going to have a great opportunity because there's value that he's going to bring in special teams, and that utility fullback type guy that I think that some teams like, and I think still he's got an opportunity. So I think a lot of our guys helped themselves today. I would say 100% we're going to have a guy that probably doesn't get drafted that will make an NFL roster next year off this bunch, just because we know what these guys can do. Gavin Gerhardt's another guy who brings so many intangibles and has such great leadership. I think he'll have value for somebody's team, and so I'm excited to see where their journey takes them. And obviously for us here to have this facility, a lot of these guys have been back in the last couple of months working out here and being able to come in here to this indoor and use our weight room. I think it's a huge advantage for us, for our guys, to be able to train here.
Won't get talked about much, but J.C. French had a chance to kind of participate today, being the guy throwing to the wide receivers. Is that an opportunity to help him kind of adjust to this stage?
Yeah, I think, for him, he was excited to come out and throw. He obviously needed somebody to throw to the guys, and he took advantage of this opportunity. I thought he threw the ball really, really well to some of the wide outs and some to the defensive players. But another opportunity for him to come out and participate in front of all these scouts and see how he's going to perform. And I thought he did great. I mean, I was watching him along with some of our guys, and he had a good week of practice though. The last week, last Friday was 15 for 15 and 11 on 11 drills. I mean, 100%. Hard to get any better than that. So excited for what how he continued to develop and continue to grow within our offense. But that was fun for him because he didn't know these guys, obviously. And you come out here, and that's the hard thing to do as a quarterback, to come out here and throw routes to these guys you don't even know. But for him to be able to do that, he had showed some good accuracy, throw some good catchable balls, and I think I think he's got an opportunity to have an outstanding season.
Do you think for sure that 4 will get drafted?
What's that?
Do you think for sure you'll have 4 guys drafted? Or
I don't know. I mean, obviously it's hard to say. I think for sure 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. A lot of it depends on how it all falls out. But I think for sure 3. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, see how this day end up, the true numbers that come out, and see where these guys end up. And I know several of these teams are having conversation with guys later on this evening. They're doing some meetings, they're doing some dinners. So there's still a lot of interest in a lot of our guys.
You didn't have any reps in you, former quarterback?
No. I wish probably 10 years ago I had to stop throwing. My shoulders jacked up, so I can't do it.
Zach Taylor.
Yeah. Now, if he did, I would probably compete against him. We would come out here and have a little throw off, man. We could probably do that. Yeah.
What's it like to see all these NFL guys walk into your facility, all the different logos and shirts?
Yeah, and it's awesome. Obviously we thank these guys right when they got here. But man, we had a strong contingent all fall last year. I mean, there was days we'd have 10 scouts out here in practice. Every day had at least one, and so we've been seeing that all fall. What that means is we have players, and the guys are going to come to look at them. And I had several scouts tell me today that they've had great success with getting Cincinnati players over the years. I mean, some of these scouts have been doing this for over 30, 35 years, and it's like historically, you get a Cincinnati player, you know what you're getting. A guy's going to work his butt off, that loves football, and so had great success in the NFL. And so they love coming back. I had several of them saying, listen, we can't wait to come back again. They love the facility, so they kept mentioning about that, but also the history of Cincinnati football players that have gone on to the league and had great careers. So it's a great precedent that's been set here.
What Zach had to say about this place?
Yeah, he was fired up. He said, this thing's awesome. He forgot, but the last couple of years, we hadn't had Pro Day here. The Big 12 has had it in Texas, and so it's the first time we've had it, but it's the first time he's seen the facility. He's blown away by it, as everybody else is. It's, obviously, as you look at it, it's very appealing to the eye, but the functionality of this building is what makes it so great.
As a coach, is it nicer to have these pro days back on campus compared to Fort Worth and the conference pro day in years past?
100%. Love it here. Couple of reasons. I think obviously first reason is our guys are comfortable training here. That they were here all last fall. We did everything in the weight room on this football field, so it's very comfortable. Also, our players are out here watching. So as a freshman or a sophomore, a young player, to be able to watch these guys perform out here in front of all these NFL players, man, that's something they're going to aspire to do when they become an opportunity to be drafted. And and then it brings a spotlight onto our facility and onto our campus. I think that's huge. So I'm very glad that it's back on campus here now, and just gets to be able to promote our program a little bit more.
Dante and Joe haven't been able to do much, unfortunately. I'm sure teams are picking your brain to try to get to the bottom of them. What are you telling teams, and what would you tell teams to watch to see them at their best?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're going to watch the film from last year and over the last years. I think, like today, some of the guys didn't do some of the things or participate, and for different reasons too. I think everybody's got their own reasons and of why they don't participate. Whether it be nagging injury or other reasons. But I think certainly those guys have shown what they can do on film, and you got to go back and watch that. And once they become ready to perform, you know what you're going to get. And I think they're great people. They're great teammates. They're leaders. I think that's one thing they've proven here. And so if they're getting one of those guys, that's what they're going to get.
What's the feeling like for you when you hear, with the whatever pick in the NFL draft, so-and-so from the University of Cincinnati?
Yeah. It's just a great feeling. I think there's a lot of pride that goes into that, that we help develop these guys to get them to this stage and to have an opportunity to go play at the next level. They all they dream about it when they're kids. But there's a lot of pride when you see that the Bearcat emblem or the C-Paw come across the ticker, and you need to start telling stories, and then you can't wait to go watch them next fall and see what they do, and obviously you'll pull for them for the rest of their life.
To see all the former Bearcats that have gotten paid this offseason,
Yeah.
what's that mean to you?
Yeah, I would say, hey, this day and age, we need some help and helping our team here. So some of these guys got a little extra cash they want to send on back here to the Bearcats. Man, we'd love to be able to have that to help our team out. But just a lot of pride in those guys. I mean, obviously those guys have worked their tail off to get to where they are in their careers. Some of these guys have signed multi-year contracts for many, many years, and I mean, Kelsey, man, I don't know how many years he's played, but a long time, and he's still signing contracts, but it means a lot. I mean, those guys, I think, are outstanding football players, and obviously, developed in the right way, had the right stuff about them to be able to continue to play at the level they're playing at. There's some big-time contracts that were signed, I mean, just in the defensive back room, which is incredible. So it's exciting to see, and hopefully those guys will come back to our program, and we got a great facility now. They can come back, got a place to train if they want to come back home and do some workouts here.
Anything else?
All right, thanks guys.